Alright, so it's taken me a while to get to the questions this weekend. I'm sorry about that, but better late than never, as they say. Here we've got a question. John measured the angle of elevation to the top of a tower as 50 degrees, walked 20 metres towards it, and then found the angle of elevation was 65 degrees. What is the height of the tower? We should draw it quickly. There's my beautiful tower. Oh my goodness, look at those skills. Oh, and then it changed on me. Beautiful tower. There, could be the Empire State Building, you never know. Anyway, initially, angle of elevation, so from a horizontal line up, was 50 degrees, and then walk closer, and the angle of elevation was 65. So there's a bit closer. There's 65 degrees. That one there, this one here we had 50. And this distance here is 20. And we are trying to find this opposite side, the height. Now there's a little catch here, isn't it? In that we don't know any of the actual values. We know we've got a right angle there, but we don't know any of the lengths at all. So what are we to do? Well, why don't we just make another little variable here, x. Now I can write two equations. This entire distance across the bottom here is now going to be x plus 20, isn't it? You can see we've got the x distance plus another 20. That will be x plus 20 to the tower. So that's where they start off. So initially, and then we've got the opposite and the adjacent side. So the tan of 50 degrees, opposite side is the height, and the adjacent side is x plus 20. There's my first equation. Now we can also form a second equation. I'll just do it over here. And the second equation is for the triangle with a shorter distance, where it's just x along the bottom. So the tan of 65 degrees equals opposite is h over adjacent is x. Now we're going to be able to solve this, aren't we? Two equations, two unknowns. We can go about doing this. We're looking for h, so I'm actually going to rearrange to get x in this one. So I'm going to multiply by x first, get it off the bottom. X tan 65 degrees equals h. I could just replace h in this equation with that expression and then try and solve for x. But I want to actually replace x. I'm going to go x equals h divided by tan of 65. And I'm going to sub that into my first equation. H over tan 65. So now I have the tan of 50 degrees equals h over tan 65. Doesn't that look like a mess? Plus 20. Alright, well I certainly don't like the look of that. Let's neaten it up a little bit. Here, the first thing I want to do is multiply by that entire denominator there. Let's get rid of our denominators. So I'm going to multiply by h over tan 65 plus 20. It's not going to be pretty, but we can still do it. So we have h tan 50, because the tan 50 of course is on the top, divided by tan 65, plus this tan 50 also has to multiply the 20, so we've got plus 20 tan 50. That's a little bit better. That just equals h. We're getting closer. We want to get all of our h's together so that then we can get rid of everything else. This tan 65 may still be bothering some people, so why don't we multiply through by that first? It's never a bad idea to get rid of those denominators. It's interesting that we need to multiply through twice, but that's because we had a fraction within a fraction over here. That's okay. We just multiply twice, it'll neaten itself out. So the tan 65 cancels in that first one, so I've got h tan 50 plus 20 tan 50 tan 65 equals h tan 65. Alright, they're all in degrees. I've got a bit slack with my degree symbol there. Soon you'll realise that this degree symbol is important because we're going to measure angles using radians, but you don't know that for now. That's just a little teaser for what's coming ahead. Let's get all our h's together. Now the tan of 65, I think that's going to be bigger than the tan of 50, so I'm going to get them all on the right. So I'm going to subtract h tan 50 from each side. So I've got 20 tan 50 tan 65 equals h tan 65 minus h tan 50. Now you see, I'm just writing everything with the tans in there. If you really don't like doing this, you can just get your calculator out and find those decimals, but it's really good practice to just keep your tans until the final step and just use your calculator on the last step. Here I've got the h's all on the right, so I want to factorise that. See how h is a common factor? So this is h tan 65 minus tan of 50. And on the left-hand side here, I've got 20 tan 50 tan 65. And of course, the final step here, we want to get h on its own, so the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So I'm going to divide by tan 65 minus tan 50. And if I want to do that on the right-hand side, I'm going to need to do the same thing on the left. Tan 65, take tan 50 degrees. You can see it's actually a fair bit involved in that question. That'll be one of your more challenging questions. That's pretty tough for a quiz 2, but then again, we can do it and it's not that bad, is it? Let's have a look at our calculator. What do we got? 20 tan 50 tan 65 divided by tan 65 minus tan 50. So, 20 times, what would be in degrees mode? Tan of 50 times tan of, ooh, don't need that. Does it just let me go back like this? It does. 65 divided by bracket tan 65 minus tan 50, close bracket, and then close the bracket for the entire denominator, equals 53.649. So 53.65, what does it ask us? To the nearest metre. So h was approximately equal to 53.6. h equals 54 metres to the nearest metre. Would that actually make sense? How could you check it? Well, now that I know that it's 54, I could just do this height. You remember, it equals x tan 65. So I could go ahead and figure out that and figure out what x is. Why not? You can stop now if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I confirm and make myself happy that I had it right. So x is h divided by tan 65. So I'll go back to that final answer and divide it by the tan of 65. My value of x is 25. So this is my checking over here. X was h divided by tan 65. X is approximately equal to 25 metres. So now if I do the tan of 50, it should be roughly 54 divided by 25. 54 divided by 25, 2.16. 1.19 doesn't look anything like it. What went on? Oh, x, so it's tan is 65. Silly me. There we go, that's the right one. What was I saying before? Look, x is that one there, so the tan of 65 should equal h over x. And that's what we got. So very good. We know we're on the right track. I hope that helped. Catch you in the next video, guys. Cheers. Bye.